Here's the deal. I'm going to move this chair today to the storage unit. I wonder how much work I'm going to have to do to make it fit. I could just put it on top of the other chair. However, today I'm going to record a video, and I may as well just do it in the storage unit because it's a different setting, and why not? I'll throw a conversation in there when I put this chair in the storage unit. Got other things to put in the storage unit too, and maybe that'll be another day, like tomorrow. One thing I wanted to talk about was just recently I've noticed as, today was further evidence of it, that I just I don't know, I don't have the energy and or time, or I'm not making the energy and or time to feel really good sometimes about myself before I leave the house. Because one way that I do this is by showering is not really an issue. I mean, that's a consistent thing. But I mean, like, being clean and dressed in a certain way and wearing jewelry. But I'm finding that, and just certain clothes, that's the thing. I'm finding I'm way more functional now than I was before. I found that I had the time and I took the time to get up, and part of my routine was, this is what I'm wearing, blah, 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 this is what's happening for the day. And thing is that living with kids is, I think, the major factor here, and there are things that I can do to make it different, but it's just like such a time commitment, and the priorities all shift and stuff, that I find that one, I never wear my graphic t-shirts anymore. Like, what's the point? I thought it was because of the biking. That's what I thought at first. I was like, hey, well, if I'm biking, I may as well wear a paint shirt, something that can get wrecked, whatever. And then if I'm going to go to the studio later anyway, well, it's a twofer, it's fine. I just wear a plain colored shirt I wear a paint shirt if I'm biking, or a tank top or something that's really hot. I'm not going to wear a graphic shirt and then get it all wrecked and then whatever, right? So that's what I thought it was, really. But I'm finding now that, today, I'm not biking because it was raining. It's going to rain more later. It's too wet and muddy. So I'm not going to bike today. And I was like, oh, cool. And there's a whole other host of things that happened as for me not leaving the house when I wanted to. And I was excited to have an 8-hour day at the studio, and that all went to hell. But anyway, I was thinking before I left, and I was like, well, what do I wear? Because I could wear a graphic t-shirt, but then I just changed it when I got here, and I just felt what's the point? There's just a part of me that just realized that recently I've just submitted to just, wearing very functional clothing, but it means I'm wearing, I don't know, I feel if I was going on a date, I was thinking that, well, if I'm going on a date, if we get a date night once every 6 months or whatever it's going to be, then I would like to wear something nicer. But I wouldn't wear a graphic t-shirt. Then I'd probably wear a plain t-shirt and a button shirt or something. A plain, clean t-shirt, not a paint shirt. So I was where am I going to wear my nice graphic tees that I really like, that are one thing that I really enjoy wearing? And it's well, if I'm running errands or whatever, if it's not a work day and I'm not biking, I don't want to change the middle of the day. So there's this thing of function versus design. And I've very much been tried to be about both. And the other thing that I noticed the past couple of months is that sometimes I just don't even wear any jewelry. I'm again, what's the point? I'm going to go biking and then I'll have to put it back on and then whatever. But if I'm not out, being seen basically, or in public, I feel there's almost no point. However, beforehand, it was just part of what made me feel good. And it still is. But the fact that I don't care as much, I don't think is a good thing in this aspect. Because I feel I am just submitting to what's the point in trying to feel good today because all this other stuff is going on and I don't feel good anyway. And that's not a good attitude to have. So I don't know, and that's the thing, I'm wearing jewelry now, but I originally didn't put any on. I didn't even think of it. It's just not part of what I think of right now. Part of it is just the manner in which I wake up is so drastically different now, and how I get ready is not the same. And it's not necessarily living with somebody, but it's living with, 3 other people rather than just living with one person. It's a lot different, where there's different roles and responsibilities and times and priorities and all that stuff changes and shifts. So I definitely am feeling lately, and I haven't felt this for a long time. I don't feel like I have, maybe because there's been other priorities that have been overtaking that, and I felt really lost and confused, and what do we do, and anxious and frustrated about trying to get things going in a better direction for us as a family. But recently, I'm thinking of like, I need to concentrate on myself again, and how to get me in the space, like how to not lose me, and do the things that I need to do, and prioritize certain things and whatever else, and get things done. And a lot of that comes down to, I mean, some of it's going to come down just to conversation with Randy and I, and some of it is just like conversation with myself and I, and then making a structure and a better plan, and organizing things and being disciplined enough to follow it, which is the theme of the year. But anyway, that's what I was thinking of on the way here, because, like I said, I left the house and I was like, well, I just want to, anyway. Well, times are changing once again. Now that Randy uses the studio more than I do, and she creates, a lot of paintings, we don't have room for all the things. So I'm going to be rearranging a bunch of stuff today. This whole corner, and Mary, my studio assistant, and Deborah as well, here, they are going to have to go. This furniture is going to go. We're going to figure some other things out here. So that's what I'm working on today. Speaking about things changing, Randy added some autumn decor, and I really like it. I've never really seasonally changed the decor in the studio before, but here we go. Yeah, we've got some autumn stuff, some spooky things, some pretty things. I like it. I enjoy her touch. Well, here's what I ended up with. Finished pieces here, which is where they were last time anyway. But there was also a mix of finished pieces and all this. And I feel, yeah, it's gotten out of hand. So these are finished. These are backgrounds and things that haven't even been opened yet. Those two back there are mine, which I'm very excited to work on one of these damn days. But anyway, so basically just did a bunch of logistical stuff today, figured out the space, and it's, yeah, I don't know, it's weird today. Every other day I was like feeling really okay about the space and just like, I don't know, now it's like weird. I'm glad everything fits in a certain way, but I'm just like, I guess it's not weird, I'm anxious. I'm anxious that this won't last long. I'm anxious that we'll have too much stuff again, and we'll have to reconfigure again, and like, just, yeah, it would be ideal to have two spaces in the same building, but anyway, yeah, I don't know why this is making me anxious right now, and it's just a weird thing. This is gonna just be like a super dumb thing, but like, Randy just has such a different style of painting than me that all this leftover stuff, like I put these here so that, the overspray would create like a background all its own. The interesting thing is that this piece of paper has been, I thought it was going to be done a long time ago. Randy paints so much and it's such a different style than me that for some reason it's like, I'm like, I don't like that. Like, I don't like the background this is doing, and like, I don't know. It's just like really silly, and I don't know. Anyway, it's like taking forever before this thing becomes done in a way that I like it. Same thing with these. Like, I feel like if I was painting as much as her, I would have these backgrounds. And maybe I don't know. It's like I said. If for some reason it's making me feel anxious. Just this right here. There is so much going on, and it's like in such a different style than mine, and it's very disjointed, and I don't know. It just makes me feel really anxious. Like, if it was a finished piece of art, it would be doing its job if that's what it was supposed to do. Anyway, this down here makes me feel a little anxious, not as bad, but I mean, I don't know. There's just not, this was meant to be just a one-person room at the very beginning, and with the amount of stuff that I amassed alone, I had to rearrange stuff, and then having other people work in here from time to time, and then having other people work in here more often, and then it's changing again, and now I really do feel like I felt this for the past month, that it's Randy's space and mine. It's both of our space. She works in here more than I do. She's got stuff here now, and she'll have more stuff that needs to come in here too. So ideally, someone else in this space will exit, and then we'll have a much more organized workspace, and one that's mostly storage and whatever else. Anyway, changes. Hopefully these are just the only changes we have to make for a while, and hopefully we end up figuring out ways to sell more pieces, or at least host them in other places, other businesses, so that this pile is less, and that would make me feel better. Because obviously we want to keep painting every week, or I mean, Randy's painting multiple pieces a week. That, I mean, we don't want this to grow and grow and grow and grow. Like, this needs to shrink, but not like, I obviously would never discourage her from creating more. And if I get into the rhythm of creating more, especially in winter with less bike riding and being here more, then, you know, I'm not going to just not, oh, I'm running out of space, I can't make anything. Like, that's not going to happen. So anyway, that's where things are. That's whoop, 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 whoop.
Now, not everyone going to get this option, because this will depend on the region that you are in. In some country, this option get taken out because of the privacy reason. In some country, they don't want you to turn off that shutter sound. So therefore, there is no option to turn off shutter sound.
Well, that is really interesting. I always wondered why, in the past couple generations of phones, that option just wasn't there anymore to turn off the shutter sound, because it used to be there on earlier smartphones. And then, like I said, the past couple generations of phones, or maybe more than the past couple, the last 6 or 7 years, I guess, I've noticed, like, why don't I have an option to turn off the shutter sound? Like, that's ridiculous. I have to turn up my system volume all the way down if I want to be discreet, or just not have that. Like, I just don't like the sound. Even if I don't have to be discreet, I just don't like the sound of it at all. Yeah, same thing with taking a screenshot. And like, I just don't need that noise to happen while I take a screenshot. That's the other thing. When I take a screenshot, some people think that it's a shutter sound, and then they like look, and I'm like, I just needed to take a screenshot on my phone. Like, so interesting theory by that gentleman who was explaining, like, oh yeah, like some regions like don't allow you to take like that. That's just not an option. I'm like, that's crazy. Because if you look up, like, some people are like, oh yeah, you just go to the system options and the settings and there it is, and you just turn it off. I'm like, no, that's not a thing. So interesting. I realized that I need to take some of my electronics out of here, because it does not seem very likely that in the next month or two we will be upgrading to a larger space where I can fit my stuff. Therefore, this stuff is going to be out here in the cold, and I don't know how cold it's going to get, but some of the electronics shouldn't really be in the cold, like minus 10 or 20 or 30. So that's what I'm doing today. And because I'm taking some of the electronics, we figured, oh, you know, why don't we try and get some of the DVDs and stuff like that as well, which means I'll need to bring this shelf. So we had to make room for the shelf first, and now I need to see if it'll fit in the vehicle and go from there. She's really giving her outside. It's like 60-kilometer winds. I haven't ridden my bike. I don't know why I'm talking so loud. It's not like it's windy in here. I haven't ridden my bike for almost a week. I mean, there was rain on the weekend, and then yesterday got switched to today. Or what I mean is that I had time today, and then we got these crazy winds all day. So not good for the riding of the mountain bike and the coolies on trails. Not good for riding a mountain bike, or for riding a just bike, period, anywhere. There's 60-kilometer winds, get out of here. Yeah, I saw a semi almost topple over, just leaving Colehurst, like, to get to Lethbridge. It's not a very long drive. I mean, I'm still on it. It's like a 2-minute drive. Just nuts. This wind, man. With all the weather, you know. Well, it's another vlog down. I was really busy with work this week, and by the time I was off work, I couldn't really call City Hall like I've been planning to do over and over and over again. Either I forget, or when I remember, they're closed, or I'm at work and I can't call. So I'm still meaning to do that because I'm still curious, even though I'm not as like fiery about it because everyone gets used to things. It's amazing what you can get used to, and I'm just used to the fact that no one's enforcing this stuff that they are saying is mandatory. With the masks, we're talking about masks, people in Lethbridge, where it says mandatory in every like public space, basically. Public space inside, I should mention. And it says if you're using like facilities, I believe is what it is. But I've been on the website. I'll take you to the website. We can look at that together. And I still don't know to make that call. The only other video this week is a conversation. That is it. I haven't ridden my bike this whole week. One, busy with work, other appointments. And also, on the weekend, the weather was horrible. It was raining and whatever, and I couldn't ride. And then when I did have some time the other evening, it was like 50-kilometer winds. So, again, couldn't ride. So all there is right now is the vlog and a conversation that is about... What did I talk about? What did I talk about? I talked about external processing. That's what I talked about. I had a whole conversation about it. I can't believe I hadn't had a conversation about it before. But about external processing, so that was good. I learned some more stuff about myself by having that conversation. Anyway, that's there. We'll see you on another time.